I'm not a groiper, but it is true that Jews do typically disproportionately hold powers within certain institutions. Ones that I guess you would within like banking or the government, for example. Jews also statistically hold power over Palestinians. If you disagree with this, I mean, I don't even know what your position on Palestine is, but I'm assuming you agree, or at least I'm in supposition that you agree that Jews hold power over the Palestinian people. Therefore, all Jews participate in the systemic oppression of the Palestinian people until no Jews do. It's just such a simple freaking analogy. There's a one-to-one comparison. I yield my time to the floor.
Am I supposed to answer to this? This sounds like Yahtzee propaganda. I don't know, how we're supposed to answer to this. This literally sounds like Yahtzees. It's problematic. It's dangerous. I don't know why we're creating a slogan for Yahtzees. What?
I really want to say this. Please let me say this.
One at a time, please.
Please let me say this. This is crazy. Okay, so this is a debate about all men until no men. This is not a debate to talk about whether or not the Jews hold power within
the Jewish people. Yeah, what?
As it relates to this G-side that is very much happening within Gaza and Palestine. So I'm not sure where you want to go here because I have to be able to, I guess, dissect that, and that's a completely different discussion.
So it's derailing the actual issue.
I'm not sure what your obsession with Jewish people is today, but it's really scaring me. Cringe.
So wait, I'm sorry. Wait, just actually. So wait, I'm sorry.
What? Oh,
wait, hold on.
Hold on, cringy. She's got a timer.
I mean, I yield. That's all I needed to say.
Okay. I got two things. Okay. Number one, if we're doing concern trolling here, let's hopefully not. Number two, do we think that if a Palestinian says it's all Jews until it's no Jews, is that a valid statement? Considering the Palestinians are currently being oppressed by by Jewish people in Israel?
I'm literally refusing to engage. This is ridiculous and disgusting.
Hi guys, thank you for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see any future content. Also, make sure to follow my socials in the description. And if you want to debate sometime, just add me on TikTok and send me a DM. Thank you.
Let me begin with a truth that may be uncomfortable but necessary. Most violence against women and gender minorities is committed by men. This is not an option. This is not an anecdote. This is statistical, global, undeniable reality. And yet the response we often hear is, not all men. But here's the problem. Not all men is a shield. It's a distraction. It centers male ego instead of the experiences of survivors. It takes collective harm and it reframes it as individuals' hurt feelings. So what does all men until no men actually mean? It means this: until no man is graping, abusing, harassing, intimidating, silencing, exploiting, or excusing those who do, then all men remain part of a structure that enables that harm. It's not a slogan of hatred. It's a demand for radical accountability. It says, if you stand by while your friend degrades women, you're part of it. If you laugh at grape jokes, you're part of it. If you tell your daughter to dress modestly instead of teaching your son about consent, you're part of it. If you benefit from a system where women are paid less, respected less, and expected to smile through it all, and you do nothing, you're part of it. And let me be clear, this is not about guilt. This is about personal responsibility, this ability to respond, the invitation to be better. All men until no men challenges the passivity that too often masquerades as goodness. And it says, you do not get to opt out of accountability just because you didn't commit the worst act. That's not misandry, that's justice. And that's why we affirm this slogan, not to divide, but to finally disrupt what silence has allowed to fester.
You yield?
Yes, yield.
Yield.
Okay, so then we'll go ahead and start Cringy and Scratch for their opening.
I have a question though. Scratch, you cannot, and Cringy cannot be clicking while I'm talking. It's too distracting.
Was I clicking? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you are both clicking.
I was taking notes. Jeez.
Well, do it on mute, damn it.
Do it on pen and paper.
I'll go ahead and let you run the timer.
Write in cursive.
Yep. So there you go. I'm starting you two off on your 3 minutes.
Oh, okay. Is it's all mental men a valid slogan? Qualities of a valid slogan. The following list is necessary. Is a list of necessary and supportive qualities of a valid slogan, where 1 through 5 are strictly necessary, and number 6 is a supportive quality. Number 1 limits the possibility of negative interpretation by the target audience. Number 2 is relevant, such time appropriate. Number 3 is adaptable to the target audience's individual belief systems. Number 4 summarizes the target audience's shared experience towards some sort of campaign issue or policy. Number 5 sounds good / is catchy. Number 6, which is supportive, is true / rational demonstratable. Defining it's all until men. It's all until men means that all men should be perceived as threats, and women should hold prejudice towards against men until rape culture and the patriarchy is dismantled. Men are the intended audience of this slogan. The intended audience of it's all men until it's no men is and should be red pill, black pill, MGTOW, and incel men. This is because these groups of men are most likely to be the perpetrators of harm towards women and should therefore be the intended audience of the slogan. What It's All Men Till It's No Men succeeds at. It's All Men Till It's No Men is relevant, so time appropriate. It's All Men Till It's No Men meets the necessary requirement of being a relevant and appropriate slogan by touching particularly on the highly relevant topic of modern day gender dynamics. It's All Men Till It's No Men sounds good / sketchy. It's All Men Till It's No Men meets necessary requirements of being very catchy because it invokes a shared experience in women of negative interactions with men. Well, for men, the slogan upsets them enough to live rent-free in their minds. Why It's All Men Until It's No Men is not a valid slogan. It's All Men Until It's No Men is not true. It's All Men Until It's No Men justifies prejudice against men when in most other situations, this kind of, I'm going to slow down here because I want you guys to hear this. This kind of prejudice will be seen as immoral. For example, if an Israeli is prejudiced towards a Palestinian while on a trip to the Gaza Strip, the actions of the Israeli will be seen as wrong. Therefore, the immoral justification of the slogan makes it false or not true. It's all men till it's no men elicits bad reactions in the intended audience. Feminists admit that the slogan "It's all men till it's no men" is designed to elicit bad reactions from men and make them think about what the slogan actually means. The only problem with this is that you can use this argument's logic to make any absurdly bad slogan valid. For example, the slogan "Schmurder all men" became popular back in 2020. One could say the slogan "Schmurder all men" is designed to elicit bad reactions from men and make them think about what the slogan actually means. This logic applies to any slogan that has a secret meaning. For instance, I could say the slogan "Genocide all black people," but I was actually referring to the lack of two-parent households in black communities. Secondly, the argument fails at the first requirement for what makes a valid slogan. Slogan limits the possibility of negative interpretation by target audience. In a study called Slogans We Can Believe In, an examination of what makes for an effective slogan, presidential campaign slogan, they affirm the first requirement of what a good slogan is by saying, we created for a study slogans such as "Getting America Back to Work" and "Builders Not Bankers" were crafted in the sole intention
Great job,
of...
Cringy.
Oh, fuck you.
You're at the end of your limit there.
Cringy.
So once
Bro.
again, this is a parliament kind of debate. So they both have their opening statement. Now we go one by one for their rebuttals. So Emma, since you're the starting of the four, or you had the proposition, you'll go first for 2 minutes, and then followed by Scratch, followed by Jody, followed by Cringy. Cool.
This is
So
not how we okay.
yeah, we had a different format
We had a
that
completely
Oh,
different
do y'all
format
have it?
that we
Y'all wanted
agreed
to keep
upon.
it in doubles?
Well, we had it agreed to format. Did we not, guys? We put it in our group
Yeah,
chat.
we agreed upon 5-minute openings, so I'm kind of...
We had
Oh,
5 minute
okay.
opening. We have is all men until no men true. We then followed by a different argument and a basis for so like our whole thing is structured around that, Robot.
So could I get 2 more
Okay.
minutes?
Are we in
That's
the
fine.
group chat?
Yeah, Mojo,
'Cause I
you're
don't-
in. Well, you are, but Robot's not. I didn't know Robot was moderating.
Oh.
Can I get
That
2
may
more
be
minutes?
why.
Cringy. Slow down what you're
Just to be
saying
clear,
because it was like unintelligible sometimes.
Okay, 1 second. I put all 3 of your accounts, Mojo, in the group chat, and Cringy laid out what the debate structure would be. Just so we're clear.
Okay, wait.
should we
Could I get my 2 extra minutes? Real
Yes.
quick?
Yeah,
maybe
but Cringy, I just want to establish that, like,
sorry.
no, it's okay, Robot. So if you don't mind, like, I promise we have a structure. Do you want me to send this to you? Just so
Yes, if
know?
you would, please. That
Yeah.
way I can just catch up to speed.
Yeah, I'm gonna Discord or TikTok. Which one is better for you?
Discord.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, that was my bad. I guess I wasn't looking in the group chat. I saw that there was group chat. I didn't know that was being commented on.
No.
Yeah, look, I've been I just kind of got roped into this, so I don't know the structure either.
No, it's okay. I mean, I think
Guys,
You're
think
also in the
cringy.
group chat, Scratch. You
Cringy
literally.
can. I'm okay with cringy getting 2 more minutes if everyone else is.
Yeah, it's just that the way that we had this set up, we can't really follow that what you were doing. So, Robot, I'll send it to you. You said TikTok or
Discord if you
Discord
have it.
maybe is easier.
Discord? Yeah, got you. Okay. Cringy, go ahead.
Okay. I guess we'll start. Feminists often admit that the slogan "It's all men until it's no men" is designed to elicit bad reactions from men to make them think about what the slogan actually means. The only problem with this is that you can use this argument's logic to make any absurdly bad slogan valid. For example, the slogan "Murder all men" became popular back in 2020. One could say the slogan "Murder all men" is designed to elicit bad reactions from men to make them think about what the slogan actually means. This logic applies to any slogan that has a secret meaning. For instance, I could make the slogan genocide all black people, but I was actually referring to the lack of two-parent households in black communities. Secondly, this argument fails at the first requirement of what makes a valid slogan. That is, a slogan limits the possibility of negative interpretation by a target audience. In a study called Slogans We Can Believe In, an examination of what makes for an effective presidential campaign slogan, they affirm what the first requirements of a good slogan is by saying, when created for the study, slogans such as "Getting America Back to Work" and "Builders Not Bankers" were crafted for a sole intention of appealing to specific policy preferences and ideologies. They were not intended to offend anyone or be perceived negatively. However, these slogans often unintentionally had this effect. Therefore, slogans need to be carefully examined from multiple viewpoints and tested for possible interruptions. Because campaign slogans will never exist in a vacuum, numerous interpretations are always possible. A good slogan, however, will be one that manages to limit the possibility of negative interpretations as much as possible. The slogan MAGA, actually, I'll just read this. So men,
You have
target
13
audiences meant
seconds.
to invoke shared experience between men. In a study called "What's a Political Slogan?", they found that political slogans profiling an issue, all or elements of the social issue are suppressed in the background, and the issue is connected to the political enemy, in this case men, thus failing to invoke shared experience between men, and therefore also fails at being adaptable to target audience individual belief systems.
Okay. Robot, did you get it?
Yes.
So just so you know, though, from based on what I sent you, we're flip-flopping. So right now we're doing is this good messaging. So Emma's going to respond with her rebuttal.
Yeah. So we're debating a sentence instead of addressing the violence that made it necessary. All men until no men isn't a branding exercise, it's a warning. If it makes people uncomfortable, that means it's working. So I don't think the messaging is the problem. Male violence, not feminist slogans, is the crisis. Let's stop dissecting the fire alarm and deal with the actual fire. You know, but what's more cringy than the slogan? It's being followed home. So I don't know. Are we going to go back and forth? That's kind of like.
No, you have
Okay,
you have 4 minutes, Emma. So you can go
Oh,
through
okay.
your whole
I thought.
argument.
Okay.
If you want me to repeat
So
my argument, I can. Sorry.
yeah, I thought it was going to be going back and forth. It's okay. So discomfort versus awareness. The good messaging doesn't always feel good. Messaging doesn't always feel good. This phrase is supposed to spark discomfort, and that opens the door to accountability. So like the fire alarm, it's not a lullaby. It's supposed to jolt you and get you active and up and thinking about what you need to do, and uncomfortable. It's a conversation starter instead of just it's a conversation starter equals effective messaging. So the fact that we're even having this debate proves that it works, because we wouldn't be having this debate if it wasn't invoking of emotion in everyone. Messaging that starts with conversation is very powerful, and if it's being debated, it's being heard. Tone policing equals silencing. Critiquing the tone of the oppressed is a distraction tactic, and it shifts the focus from harm to politeness. If someone breaks into your house and you scream, you're not the problem because you're screaming. It's an invitation, not a condemnation. All men until no men doesn't damn all men. It demands action from them. It's a line in the sand, not a unalive sentence. It's not saying all men are dangerous. It's saying that women can't tell which ones are safe. Fragile allyship isn't real allyship. If being called in makes you leave the moment, you were never committed to the movement. If a phrase makes you fold, how would you actually handle injustice that was happening in front of you? And I'll just say this, mine kind of aren't the full amount of time, but this isn't about comfort. This is about clarity. This phrase names the truth plainly. And if we spend half as much energy solving the problem as we do critiquing it, how it's supposed to be phrased, we might not need the message anymore, and that would be a good thing. So, I fucking yield. Yeah.
Scratch, you want to take
Sorry.
this one?
Yep.
So
Okay.
now are we?
So-
All right.
Wait, no, but
I noticed
Yeah.
a couple things.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
No.
I noticed a couple things. Oh, go ahead.
You're fine, Scratch. Go ahead.
Oh, I have a couple of things. One, our opponent failed to address any of the criticisms that we addressed during our opening statement. We already criticized the argument of, oh, well, it's supposed to make people feel uncomfortable, and criticize how that logic could be used in absurdity to make any disgusting slogan invalid. We already addressed the fact that hey, this slogan isn't actually valid when it comes to messaging, but our opponents seem to just repeat their same opening statement. And, first of all, moral grandstanding. The reason that we are here to this debate is because we understand that messaging is an important part of the political movement, and bad messaging means that we don't get people on our side. For instance, let's look at the men-women decide when it comes to men-women decide when it comes to who's going Democrat and who's going Republican currently. It's disproportionately men who are going to the Republican side because of our bad messaging, which means that we can't implement the policies that we need to dismantle the patriarchy. That is important, right? Second of all, if it makes people uncomfortable, it's working. That is not true, right? Well, if I make this, and I said the statement, unalive all men, oh, it's to make men comfortable so they'll use their galaxy brains to think about it just a little bit harder, and all of a sudden, they'll just, understand it? No. People who are outside of this community, who aren't having these full conversations, that look on Twitter and see a bunch of feminists saying it's all men or unalive all men, immediately go around and demonize it. As the study references earlier said, political slogans don't exist in a leftist vacuum. There's other political ideologies. People exist within other spaces. Having this debate shows that it's working, right? You kind of use this to say, oh, the fact that we're even talking about this slogan means that it's somehow working. Absolutely not. We here all believe already that the patriarchy should be dismantled. Nobody here is being convinced that the patriarchy should not be dismantled. That is already a given. We're arguing over the people who need to hear this message, how we get that to them. Just because we're having this debate doesn't mean those people are being communicated to. This is an internal critique. And the fact that you can't make the distinction is absurd. I yield my time.
Do I yield your time to me, Scratch?
Yeah, go ahead, Cringy.
Sure, thank you.
So what, like 2 minutes?
Yeah, 2 minutes for cringe. Yeah, I just want to make sure, 100% sure. I guess this is a question. So, write this down, Jodie and Emma. My first question is: do we all agree that the intended audience of It's Small Men Till Slow Men is red pill, black pill, MGTOW, and incel men?
No.
Okay. So no. My justification for this is these groups of men are most likely to be perpetrators of harm towards women and should therefore be the intended audience of the slogan. I guess an example is I think 15% of old people take up 65% of the healthcare. There's very clear perpetrators or individuals which do significantly more harm than others, and we should be addressing we should be addressing the big fish before we start frying the small ones. I think this is pretty obvious. We have certain orders of things we want to do. I think triage, right? Yeah, I think that's it. I yield my time.
Emma, do you want to? Can we just have like an open forum for like 3 minutes or something, 3 to 5 minutes? Would that sound okay, guys? Okay, because I think what we did skip over in terms of our like structure here was the defining terms, and so that sort of came up with what you just said to a certain extent. Also, can somebody stop Darth Vader breathing into the mic? That would be great. Thank you. Sorry, bro. I love you.
Me?
I don't know. You went muted and I didn't hear it anymore. So assuming so. Yeah. So when you asked whether or not we would agree upon if the intended audience would be like red pilled incel sort of men, right? To that, I would say absolutely not. That's why I said it sort of right away, because it's really important that we understand that we actually are not trying to reach the worst of the worst men, right? We're trying to reach all men, because it's going to take all men. All men are inherently benefiting from this patriarchy, which is something that we can also get into defining as well. But just to answer this specific question, this is about all men, not the bad ones, not the good ones, all men, and their responsibility to make a difference as it relates to this argument.
Do you
You'd
not
agree,
want to
though,
focus?
that we should.
Oh.
You'd agree that the people who we should start addressing are the ones who are committing disproportionately the most amount of violence against women. Correct?
It takes
Those are the
everyone.
people we should be. Correct?
No, it takes everyone. It takes the good men, right? It takes the quote unquote good men to address them as well. So we're addressing all
that
men.
wasn't my point. I didn't say what didn't take. I didn't say it didn't doesn't take the good. Obviously, it takes all men to make this shit happen.
Mhm.
But we should first start with the men who are committing the most amount of violence against women. Those should be the people who should.
I mean-
hey guys, maybe you shouldn't like grape people.
I mean,
right.
but doesn't the
That's-
law do that though? Like,
But we're not-
doesn't yeah.
I mean, the point in the message, right? If we're talking about messaging, right, and we're saying who is our intended audience, we are telling you that yes, while the most violent in our society of men, right, are the ones who are committing the most harm. That's an obvious statement. The point of the messaging, though, is to say all men have some level. It's a spectrum, but some level of responsibility and inherent privilege within this patriarchal system, and all have a responsibility. This is not about who's the bad men and who we need to be taking down. That's a different argument. Right now, we're just talking
Well, this
about
message.
the responsibility of men and where that lies within our system. It's really that simple.
Yeah, we should try be communicating to the men who are disproportionately committed the most violence that they have the most amount of responsibility to change their actions. Correct.
Yeah, like I mean,
And if the slogan fails at doing that, then it's a terrible slogan. And here, let me accept that that's not what the messaging was going towards. As the study I even read earlier, slogans don't exist within a fucking vacuum. People hear them anyways. Even if it's only the message towards certain men, it further pushes those people away. And like once again, I reference the fact that men are still disproportionately going towards the Republican side. Where these messaging has been failing, it's continuing to failing. And I even reference slogans like in 2020, like unalive all men. These slogans don't work.
Wait, scratch a second. So the problem with this slogan is that this slogan is all men till women. I mean, again, I said with the study, this slogan is a political slogan profiling a social issue. So it's identifying a political enemy, in this case, men, and identifying a political enemy, in this case, men, in order. Fucking. I guess what I'm trying to say. Jesus Christ. This slogan invokes shared experiences between people, but particularly women. So, for example, the "Make America Great Again" slogan, it invokes a shared experience of older Americans, I think, of some sort, harkening back to like some sort of greater America in the past. The slogan "It's All Men" only invokes a shared experience between women of like violent or negative reactions of women interacting with men. For men, they don't understand it. There is no shared experience. So you're not actually appealing to men at all. You're only circle jerking with other women feminists. Like, I don't want to tell you this.
So,
like, if you want to circle jerk for yourself, that's fine. But like,
Yeah. No, I mean, some of the typical arguments that you guys make is that like it alienates certain men, right? Like that's kind of what you're saying right now. It's saying that like all men are guilty, it's too provocative, all of these things, and yet we have a history of provocative slogans and messaging that actually work, even though there's been criticism. So when you look at like Black Lives Matter, right, and you talk about the criticism at that time, it was like, well, like typically the response would have been like, wait, but all lives matter, right? And so the reality was, though, that the slogan, regardless of the criticism, did highlight systemic injustice. So like the result sparked this global movement, right? It pushed for reforms. So it does do that. This is what I'm calling it short AMUNM is provoking. It's centering the truth, and it's also meant to educate, right? Because it's saying one line, Black Lives Matter. There's a level of education that you have to supply with that as well. You have to supply research and statistics behind why that Black Lives Matter slogan meant so much. It's not just a slogan. There is messaging and important information behind it. So there is, for all of these, a level of education required.
Like you're literally
Okay,
you're doing the thing like I said earlier, where like you can use this logic is so dumb. You can use it to justify any slogan. Like once again,
It's all
the
Jews,
the
still no
slogan,
Jews.
the slogan "Unalive all men" is provocative, but really, if you look at the statistics behind it, the real meaning is that men are the men disproportionately commit violence, and that we need to have some way to hold them accountable for that. We're not actually calling to unalive all men. And really, what you really need to look into it, and we've had this history provocative in fact. I can use your exact same logic to justify almost any single slogan that is provocative like that. For goodness sakes, I could put the N-word on the end of the fucking all lives until all men until no men, and say it's provocative and supposed to make people think. The reality is that's not a good slogan. A good slogan is something that people aren't offended by.
No, I would like to know. So are you arguing that like silence equals unaliving, defund the police, Black Lives Matter, the future is female, Me Too movements, all of these movements did nothing to provoke conversation and therefore change within these different...
I didn't. That's not my argument at all. I would actually say that that's not actually my argument at all.
No, but your argument is whether or not it's good messaging, and good messaging is qualified by whether or not it works, right? Essentially, right?
And this slogan obviously doesn't work, and I'm explaining why it doesn't. It's a little bit disingenuous. It's a little bit disingenuous because some of those slogans are good and some of those are bad, and we could have those conversations. Right now, it's about all men until snowmen.
That's your own opinion.
You agree?
That doesn't mean.
Oh, okay.
Can we hold on just a moment? Because it seems like y'all are kind of jumping your debate structure y'all had set up.
Right. I think this is
what y'all should be moving into now.
Before you do that, Robot, hold on. Was this supposed to be definitions? I was like getting ready to write down definitions here.
I mean,
sure.
You guys.
We were going to define terms, but again, that was supposed to be at the beginning of the debate. But you know, we can
define terms. That's fine. Then we have something to work off of.
Do you agree with the
please.
definition? Do you agree with the definition? It's all men till it's no men means that all men should be perceived as threats, and women should hold prejudice against men until great culture and patriarchy dismantled. Do you agree with that definition?
No.
So what is the definition?
Yep, I have this all down. Just 1 second. Let me get up to it. Unless you have it faster than me, because I had this all out of order. Yeah, I'm gonna fight you, Mojo. I'm gonna fight you.
Wait, you guys do it in Discord. I told you all I don't check.
It's okay. It's okay. You're right. I should
clarify definitions before doing research. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like Cringy has a definition up first. Would you like 3 or 5 minutes to go over your definitions?
I mean, I don't think we need that long, because I think we're going to disagree. Like we already disagree on the first definition proposal. So all men. We take this in parts. So all men is one part, until no men is the next part. We've defined complicity, messaging, etc. So all men is all men who benefit from patriarchy or remain passive in confronting it. This includes bystanders, excusers, and good guys who do nothing to stop bad behavior. The until no men part is a future state in which no man is complicit, no man stays silent, no man chooses comfort over justice, and it's an aspirational standard.
So would the statement "it's all Jews till it's no Jews" also be valid? Because all Jews participate in a system of oppressing Palestinians till, I guess, no Jews participate in that system.
That's fundamentally.
Can you describe how not?
Answer the question, Jodie.
Answer the question. Let's hear it.
You just use juice as a means to argue whether something related.
Okay,
tell
me why it's invalid.
We're just testing if you're logically consistent.
Are we going through all the definitions, or are we debating right now? Like, I don't know.
We're having a semantic debate over a definition.
I thought we were giving him all the definitions.
Because you're right.
Are we doing that? or no?
We're having
gonna-
semantic debate
we're,
over a
we're
definition.
disagreeing on the first one, so we have to kind of nail this down. But I
Okay,
think
well, can you answer the question respectfully?
Well, hold on. Is
no,
there
I
a
think that
definition?
your analogy is absurd.
Okay,
Yeah.
Is
why?
there a definition you guys
Why?
can agree on? That's what I'm looking
Yeah,
for.
that's what I would like to do, but they're being obtuse. So
Why is that
why is the
definition?
analogy absurd?
I just
Yeah.
explained what our definition is. If you disagree with it, that's
No, okay, wait, no, I'm
Well,
sorry.
I-
Why is the
I
analogy?
see what
Wait,
you're
I'm sorry.
saying.
Why
Hold
is
on.
the analogy
Cringy.
absurd?
Can anybody
Cringy
on this
scratch.
panel? Yeah, go ahead.
Y'all are in the middle of definitions. Could you save the analogy until the next segment?
This.
Wait,
Okay.
they gave
I
their
just-
definition.
I
We
just
already. I think Cringy already gave our definition. I
Yeah,
don't see.
Cringy,
Like,
could you go ahead and state
Mojo
yours?
wrote them down.
Sorry, could you just state yours one more time? For the it's all
All
men.
men till no men means that all men should be perceived as threats, and women should hold prejudice against men until grape culture and a patriarchy are dismantled.
Right. So the fundamental difference here is that there isn't some expression of all men being violent, incel, red pill people, right? And that's what you're categorizing them as with your definition. So the issue is a literal semantical issue. It's going to be a difference in your opinion. I don't know how.
Do you not think? Okay, we should be choosing the definition. We should be choosing a definition that like holds the
We're
most utility.
literally
I don't-
dismantling the messaging itself. If we were talking about the statistics behind everything, we could probably dismantle this stuff. The difference is, though, is that we're literally this is the argument. This is the
Yeah.
argument right here. This is part of the argument, right? Is whether and what the definition is, understanding it in the first place. Is it good? Is it good enough to understand, etc.? So, like, you want to work this out in 5 seconds, and this is a
But
fundamental
it's the
part
whole
of the
point.
argument.
Yeah, it's the whole point of the debate.
Right? I mean, am I wrong? We can
Yeah.
talk
Okay,
about
well,
like.
That sounds correct.
Thank you.
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you? Okay, so you understand like I have a problem with your definition, correct?
Yeah, and you have a problem with ours.
Okay, so I like gave you I drew an analogy. I've given like a substantive
analogy was absurd.
criticism, and you've failed to answer the question. So I'm going to take that as a concession, and we're going to move on to the debate.
No,
Thank
you
you.
don't
Wait,
get to just
hold on.
Then
Jodie-
answer
Jo-
the analogy.
Jodie-
Answer the question.
This is the debate, though. This is not a definition.
This is the whole debate. Yeah.
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 So, are there any specific terms?
No,
you guys
we're
wanna
wait. I'm
define?
sorry. Wait a second. There's
The
there's
debate's
a couple-
over if the slogan's valid, not just the meaning behind the slogan. Once again, I said.
So, okay, so
Right,
wait,
and we
so
have a
maybe-
whole
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
debate on that. We have a whole debate.
Yeah,
section
that's
in
the
the
whole point of the
opening-
debate.
Okay, for the
We're
whole
supposed
panel
to be
then.
going to that.
This is the style y'all agreed on, and your next segment is
Yeah.
all men until no men
True.
true. So that's this 40-minute
Yeah, I would
segment
like
that y'all have agreed on.
Yeah, so I would like
That's
to go
if y'all
ahead
want
and
to
start
transfer
my
to
argument
that.
on that. Yeah, so I would like to go ahead and
Okay.
start my argument on that because they want to reduce all of this to just simple definitions when we fundamentally disagree on this in the first place. Like
Yeah.
you can't, and also your analogy was absurd. Again, I like to reiterate that you
Wow.
associated juice with Palestinians. Can you please?
Turns out, look, if
come up
I
with
say
something
something's
a little
absurd over
more-
and over again,
Can you
it
leave-
makes
can
it
you
makes
please
me
come
correct.
up with something
Scratch,
more
scratch.
coherent? Can you
Scratch.
please come up with something more coherent before you try to challenge me? Thanks. Anyways, so I'll
I'm
take
gonna give you
my.
a timer. Yes,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's
give you a
fine.
timer for 5 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, so when we talk about this section, is all men until no men true? Before we can evaluate that, whether it's good messaging or not, we have to ask this question. Is there a factual basis or a structural basis for this claim? Or is it like merely a rhetorical provocation? So the answer is gonna lie in not gonna lie in individual anecdotes, but in measurable systemic patterns. This section is not about whether every individual man is violent. It's about whether all men are willingly or not part of a structure that allows harm to flourish. It's about recognizing that harassment, abuse, inequality, and silence are not random facts, but outcomes of a system where most of the violence is committed by men and most of the silence is maintained by men. So all men until no men is a structural diagnosis, not a personal insult. Can you guys mute when you're not speaking? Thank you so much. Period. Is not a personal insult. It calls attention to the patterns in the data, the behaviors in the margins, and the silence in the center. So we have to examine the evidence first. In terms of evidence, we have an overwhelming majority of violence, harassment, and gendered harm that's being committed by men. It's not a minority. 98% of mass unalivings are committed by men. Over 90% of perpetrators of DV are male. 99% of rapes or sexual violence are committed by men. And I don't know if we're allowed to say femicide, but 55% of unalived women in the US are killed by, unalived by male partners, excuse me. So what we're showing here is that these are not outliers. This is a pattern. The statistical weight reveals that harm is normalized, not anomalous. And so saying that all men references the structural origin of this harm is not a personal attack. So this would just be like saying if 98% of plane crashes were caused by a specific model, we wouldn't call it a few bad jets. We would ground them all until the problem was solved, right? We're also going to be talking about silence and bystanderism. This complicity. Most men who don't cause direct harm still enable harm through their silence, denial, or passive benefit. 60 to 75% of men report witnessing sexist jokes or harassment, but fail to intervene. Men avoid calling in peers due to fear of social rejection or being seen as weak. The implication here is that the average man may not be abusive, but most don't actively disrupt that abuse. That's complicity. So in a system where silence protects abusers, neutrality is not neutral. Until no man turns away, every man is a part of the problem. So in terms of benefits from patriarchal structures, even nonviolent men do benefit from this system that disadvantage women and marginalized genders. Being examples of this is being assumed competent in leadership positions and roles, receiving more lenient legal and judicial outcomes, greater financial opportunities and higher pay, freedom to move through public space without fear or hypervigilance, less scrutiny of appearance, emotions, or parenting roles. And some supporting stats with that are going to be the obvious wage gaps, women earning 83 cents for every $1 a man earns. That's even worse for Black women and Latina women. Black women earning 66 cents to the dollar, 58 cents for Latina. Men make up 87% of Fortune 500 CEOs. In heterosexual households, women perform 2 to 3 times more unpaid labor, right? So this isn't about, this is about accountability. If men benefit from a system that harms others, then ignoring that benefit is a form of participation. And then finally, the phrase all men speaks to systemic participation. It's not individual malice. So just like the slogan ACAB critiques institutional loyalty over justice, all men until no men critiques cultural male complicity over safety. This isn't saying that you're all evil. It's saying you exist within a structure that shelters that harm, and you likely participate passively in that structure. You are needed to dismantle it and not defend it. This phrase isn't about who you are. It's about what you're doing or not doing. In conclusion, all men until no men is true, not because every man is cruel, but because every man lives in, benefits from, and is often silent within a structure that harms. So until that structure is dismantled and every man rejects passivity and complicity, the phrase is going to remain accurate. I yield.
Thank you. Cringy, I'm going to go, or sorry, Scratch, I'm going to go ahead and give you the 5 minutes now for your rebuttal.
I'm actually going to yield this to Cringy because I know he has a specific argument. The only thing I have to say is I didn't realize that we had 3 opening statements. Go ahead.
True.
Well, you didn't even know what our structure was, so that's hilarious. Go ahead, Cringy.
Yeah. We can't. This debate simply can't move on until we agree on this definition. Even if I accepted or granted definition to say that every man participates in society and so therefore upholds societal structures is so brain dead and obvious. I don't even know how to I don't even what value saying that or mentioning that even holds. This is like saying all women or all people exist in society and all people uphold societal structures. It's all people, it's no people. So again, I will ask, and I really hope we do not get some cucked answer about this time. Can we? Is it's all Jews till it's no Jews a true and valid statement and rationally demonstrable? I yield my time to the Jodie or Emma. I don't really care at this point.
Remain respectful and not laugh and use cuss words and I don't know, insults. It's really weird.
Well, I mean,
How would you answer the question?
Just a colloquial verbiage, so I don't think that's as much of the problem as long as it's not ad hominem.
It's fine. Go ahead.
Wow, that's a really great argument, Jodie. Super weird. How about you answer the question?
Drew.
Barely hear half of what Cringy says, in fairness. So go ahead. Go ahead and restate that, Cringy. Just the last final question, please.
Sure. Is it's all Jews till it's no Jews true and rationally demonstrable?
Emma?
This feels very not okay,
It
to
feels
like
like you're
joke
not giving an
about.
answer.
No,
It
I
feels like
mean,
you're not
like, I don't
answering the
know.
question.
No, I mean, like, I don't know. This is like feeling like a little bit icky. Like,
Oof.
I know it's supposed to be
So
like
Yeah, that's a
funny and
really
like
that's
off the cuff, but it just like I don't really like the
I feel. Well,
What
do
makes
you
okay.
need
okay?
some? Do you
Can
need
you
like a therapy session? Do I need to come
No, I
over?
don't need
Like,
a
is
therapy
there anything
session.
you
I
need
just
that I
don't
can
think
answer
it's
Do we have
for?
a
really right to
moderator?
be like talking about Jews and not like it doesn't
Okay,
feel
no,
right like
actually,
the
wait.
way
No,
you're
Come
actually, you know
on,
what? Wait,
crack,
wait, wait.
scratch, cringy.
Hold
Come
on.
on.
Yeah, no,
Let's
no
not bring
personal
in any of
attacks.
This is
that.
not how any of the other debates have gone. Everybody's always remained super professional and like
Well, that would be the purpose of the
have accepted
parliamentary
this.
debate. You don't have a chance to be gross.
Okay, real allies don't walk away because women are angry. They lean in and ask, "What can I do?" And in this situation, the two debaters are not leaning in and asking what they can do to help women because like, apparently it's not as important. It's
Just
more
answer the
important to just win
question.
and have a funny thing to say that's a little bit potentially dangerous
No, we're at.
to be spouting. Um, it's just it's a little odd.
Please just answer the question. The
It's
only
also
reason I've
disingenuous.
insulted you
I
because you've
didn't know this
refused
was a
to.
question and answer.
Which
Like,
it's
Scra-
what?
We,
This
It's,
is
we
this
this
is about
is
violence in women and like
uh,
and women who are harmed actively like throughout the
nobody's
country. And so
I mean,
I feel like
we're
this is like a
providing
very
more
weird
moral
thing
okay,
to
wait.
say
I'm
and
reasoning.
sorry.
No
Okay,
exhaust it.
Emma.
actual question
okay. We
answering.
don't need
Again,
3 people talking at once.
Okay, so Emma, can you give me a process by which I would determine whether an analogy is or question is icky? Like, what does that mean? How do I determine that? And how do I formulate an analogy that wouldn't be icky?
I feel like it's like you're talking about Jewish people now as like an example to like go against like
you
it's
also
just
brought
it
up you
feels
also
I just
previously
think
brought
it's
up
not like an
Palestinian people as well, so that's
yeah, I
Emma,
don't
can you
think
restate the question I asked you? Can you restate the question I just asked you, please?
I just like I would like to move on. I don't feel comfortable
Could you
like with
restate the
this
question I
analogy,
asked you?
honestly. I
it's
don't think
our
it's funny to laugh
Could
about
you
saying
restate
like
the question?
the Jews. Like this is like weird. Like I don't like it. I'm sorry. This is about violence in
Scratch,
women. So
scratch.
is
Is that
that
a
important
sufficient
to you or
answer?
is it just like a funny thing
that
that
was
you
a
guys
very.
pretend
That
to
is
care
not
about
sufficient
Okay,
the
answer.
safety of women?
scratch and
Hmm?
cringy. This is not a congressional hearing. People do not have to answer the question. There is no under oath statements here. Like if they
Okay.
do not choose to engage with it, you just have to move on.
Okay. So in the debate, for future reference, when they make an argument, I can just say that that feels really offensive and disgusting and honestly microaggressive
yeah, we
towards
haven't
my
said
race, the beautiful black
we
people,
haven't used
and
any
I feel like not engaging with it. Will that be a valid argument I can make in the future?
Apparently, it would be a valid argument in this particular style,
Okay.
which,
Okay.
as I
Okay.
understand it, you agreed to it.
not what they're talking about, but that's okay. That's totally fine. I mean, so are you just trying to blanket statement say that you can say it's all men until no men, it's all sheep until no sheep, it's all Trump supporters until it's no Trump supporters? Is that where you're going?
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, wait. Okay, wait a second. Do
What
all
makes that
people? Wait, I'm sorry. Wait a second. Wait. Jody, I have a question. Do all people exist in society and uphold societal structures?
Sure, but if the society is already structured around men, then we've lost the argument.
Okay, cool. And like,
And we've already proved how it does.
wait. And
So would
just
you like
tried
to
societal
no, I'm
structures.
so sorry. I'm so sorry. You think you're running this, but you're not, honey. So the question was whether or
Mojo, I
not
don't wait,
we've
Mojo. You
all
said people
no,
can't call
I'm so
people honey on
sorry.
your panel.
No,
No,
I'm
you
so
did. You
sorry.
called me honey. Wait, I'm
Wait,
sorry.
stop. This is not a normal panel. I'm going to ask you guys not to interrupt each other. So allow somebody to finish their statement or ask their question and then answer.
Yeah, I think
Please do not interrupt each other anymore.
Cringy and Scratch are just a little excited. It's okay. So Cringy asked whether or not we all live in a society in which we uphold the structures of said society. And my response was to say, well, if we can prove that we live in a patriarchal society, then your argument is over. And I've already proven how we live in a patriarchal society. So would you like to tell me how we don't live in a patriarchal society? Because I think that would be relevant to your argument with this.
Would you entertain my line of
It would
questioning
turn out that
for
if we
2
accept your
minutes?
definition and then we accept that we're in a patriarchal society,
you
and
to
yes,
answer
but
Wait,
my
wait,
first you
question.
need
you
to
asked
argue
a,
if your
Pretty
definition is correct.
simple. I think my question was pretty simple.
all
Well,
right.
your question is you're begging the question, right? Because you're assuming that we accept your definition, and then you're asking, and then you're saying, "Well, my
Now who's not
definition."
answering questions? You started this.
Well, is there something wrong with me pointing out the fact that you're literally being dishonest
I was
and
talking
giving
to
a logical
Cringy though.
fallacy by begging the question? The argument is
Can Cringy
over
defend
if. Oh,
himself?
thank you for
Can
letting me
Cringy
finish.
defend himself?
Thank you for letting me finish. The argument is over if
Oh,
your guys'
apparently not.
definition currently is.
Interesting.
Can I finish? I can turn my gain a little bit more or down. Here, let me.
Oh no, please.
Will you
apply.
just
Please do
debate
not.
and not
Please,
dictate
yeah,
when
please do not do that.
the debate
And
is over?
Jody,
Like what?
Jody, I have to ask you now too to allow them to finish their answer, and
Yep, I gotcha.
ask any additional question. Thank you.
Look, right. The argument currently is over if the definition is valid. That's the question we're trying to parse out here. And what your question was, let's assume that my definition is valid. I'm going to state that if you believe that the patriarchy does exist, then then you agree that the statement "it's all men until it's no man" is true. You're begging the question. We disagree on the definition, and so of course we're not going. to answer that question. So please, can we get back to what we are actually contending with first?
Sure. I mean, I don't. You guys have derailed this so fucking far. I don't know where you want me to go. I've asked a question. There's a question on the table. You've now derailed it back to something else. I would like you to then tell me what you would like me to answer.
Can you address what I just said?
Since you didn't want to answer my question. No, because you didn't answer mine. So now we're just going in circles. So you guys can continue to go this way, or you cannot.
I gave a really good reason of why we didn't need to answer your question, and honestly, the answer to your question is yes. But I gave a reason about why your question is really invalid and is begging the question, and you have not addressed it whatsoever. So could you just please do that, because you didn't give one for us.
I just want to.
It's weird and it's icky, and
again, I feel
my feelings.
Well, I didn't say any of that myself.
Oh, you feel a lot of things.
No, I think it's a dangerous thing to just like be
and you're
like, what are you even
it's
trying
all
to
men
say
until
by that
it's no men.
statement?
Thanks, Gretch.
Yeah.
Okay,
and I also would
not
like to
attack others.
Well, he's already done that several times though, Robot, in fairness. So like that's kind of like we're kind of far past that. And he did come to this debate also saying that he doesn't even know what the structure of the debate was, so he's sort of just ad-libbing and not really adding anything helpful at this point other than ad hominems and such. But ultimately, we need to understand something here. First and foremost, Cringy and Scratch don't want to concede that there is an existing patriarchy because that would end their entire argument. And Cringy was able to highlight that very clearly just now. The reason that we say all men until no men is not going to be the same as like all Jews until no Jews or something else absurd to that extent, right, is because we're talking about systemic power. So that would be a great example, right? I'm glad you guys brought that up. I will go ahead and answer it, even though that is not a part of what we were talking about today. So when we talk about a system of power, we're talking about men as a group holding systemic power in nearly every major institution, right? And if you're doing a direct comparison to, say, Jews, then you're going to talk about a group of people who have been historically been the target of persecution, G-side, marginalization, etc. So, I mean, that would be the first argument against why you couldn't use that as a one-to-one. We also can talk about punching up and punching down. All men until no men is punching up because we live in a patriarchy. This is part of the reason that I wanted to establish what their opinion on the patriarchy was. Because if they believe there's a patriarchy, then their argument is simply over. It's really that simple. But if their argument is that the patriarchy does not exist, then of course we can have a bigger discussion, right? But ultimately, I'm sorry, did you have something you'd like to say? Did you want to tell me?
Yeah, I think Cringy and I already said the patriarchy exists, and that.
Yeah, I actually said so in my opening. I actually said so.
For my definition, correct.
Again,
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, Jody.
Brother pointed out, I know what you're gonna say. You said it in your opening, and as your twin brother pointed out, it's very hard to understand you, Cringy. I think everyone would agree to that. I love you to death, but it is really hard. You're not the best orator sometimes, so it was very hard to hear everything you were saying, respectfully. So I did not catch that. But either way,
I repeated definition like 3 times. You disagreed with the definition. So if you didn't understand the definition, how'd you disagree? No, Jody, if you didn't understand the definition or you didn't hear it, how the fuck did you disagree with it? Like, actually, can you explain how that happens?
Because you've expanded upon it beyond that first initial opening statement. What are you talking about?
No, I just read the definition off the fucking screen 3 times. You said you disagreed with it. So can you tell me how you disagree with something you didn't hear? Well, I don't understand.
It has nothing to do with the opening statement. You said it after the opening statement, Cringy. That's why.
Hey, okay.
Like what?
As a
Then
moderator,
why do
you
you say
said
it
in his
patriarchy
opening
exists?
statement.
You guys
What
are
the-
not. We're not moving forward. We're not
Yeah.
progressing.
All right, hold on.
Holy
hold
shit,
on,
bro.
Hold on. Robot, go ahead.
Yes, as the moderator, I have been listening and taking notes. We also have this playing on YouTube, and I have verified that Cringy did say it in his opening statement. He agrees that there is a patriarchy.
I didn't say that he didn't, Robot. That wasn't the argument just now.
Why are you like
Definition.
ragging
Oh
on
my
this point?
God,
Then
these
this seems like so
like
Well,
asinine.
it's about the definition of
there's
patriarchy.
well,
right?
I think there is something to be said here. There is a systemic, there is a systemic and generally thing of white people not listening to black people when they're coming with their
Oh
opinions about certain things.
wow.
I'm not trying to. I'm not suggesting anything.
True.
Here,
Base.
I'm not
Base.
judging anything.
That's
currently.
cute. Now we're just gonna troll. Okay.
So now we're gonna
How am I trolling?
make
Wait, you
accusations of
deny the
people.
fact that systemically that black people and marginalized voices have
We're
been
talking
ignored?
All
about
right,
all
this
men
is
and
not
Is this
women.
the
this is
debate?
not part of the discussion. This is not part of the discussion. Can we please move on?
Really, Mojo, you seem to be able fine allowing Jodie to do, and it was implying that I was
Trolling,
being
like I
misogynist
said.
somehow.
Hey, hold on. Jody
You did that
has
all
been
by
called
yourself,
out by
babe.
myself and Mojo, the same as you and Cringy have.
Okay, so Jody, do you agree that
Do you
all
want to address
structure?
anything that I said? Why didn't
I
you
mean,
also if you agreed that the patriarchy exists, then why didn't you answer me previously? It could have been just yeah, I do, and then we could have moved on. It's kind of weird. But also, I just talked about the thing that you really harped on, which was how it's not a one-to-one comparison. You can't use all men until no men and just put in any other term you'd like to. So would you like to address that either? Is there
okay,
anything, anything that you would like to address other than trying to run this argument?
Cringy, can I go here real quick? Address her thing, and
Oh
then
yeah,
you can
for
address
sure,
the...
for sure.
I mean,
Go
I was
ahead,
asking
Scratch.
Cringy
Yeah,
because
so
he's
number
the
one,
one
I
that
think
proposed
we
it.
already admitted multiple times this debate that
Cringy,
patriarchy exists.
can you debate for
The
yourself?
specific contention that we had was that you're begging the question, not that, and that by your definition of it's all men until it's no men basically is just a patriarchy existing, and that we disagreed specifically with your definition, right? And that's why we said it's more relevant instead of answering the question to go back to, okay, which definition is more valid? Okay, go ahead, Cringy.
Yeah, I don't want to say this. Jewish people. I mean, oh fuck, I'm not a groyper.
Oh no,
just
please
for
go
everybody in the
ahead.
chat.
Please go ahead. Please.
Yeah,
Hold
guys,
on.
guys, I'm not. Wait,
Hold
I'm
on.
not a. Just a second. I'm
Hold
not a
on.
groyper.
I'm gonna give you a timer. That way we can stop the interrupting and we can actually hear what each person is saying.
Oh, I want him to say this. I'm excited. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, you want like 3 minutes? I'm gonna give you 3
minutes.
minutes.
Crazy.
I'm not a groyper, but it is true that Jews do typically like disproportionately hold powers within like certain institutions. Ones that I guess you would like within like banking or the government, for example. Jews also statistically hold power over Palestinians. If you disagree with this, I mean, like, I don't even know like your position on Palestine is, but I'm assuming you agree, or at least I'm making supposition that you agree that Jews hold power over the Palestinian people. Therefore, all Jews participate in the systemic oppression of the Palestinian people until no Jews do. It's just like such a simple freaking analogy. There's a one-to-one comparison. I yield my time to the floor.
Am I supposed to answer to this? This sounds like
I'm
Yahtzee
sorry.
propaganda. Like,
I'm
I don't
sorry.
know,
Wait.
like, how we're supposed to, like, answer to
No,
this.
I'm so
This
no,
literally sounds
yeah,
like
no,
Yahtzees.
I'm
Like, it's
sorry.
problematic. It's dangerous. I don't know why we're,
Look, we
like,
got
creating a
Noah
slogan
and
for
Jude down in the
Yahtzees.
comments.
Like,
I
what?
really want to say
Well,
this. Please let me
Wow.
say this.
One
Please
at
let
a
me,
time, please.
please let me say this. This is crazy. Okay, so this is a debate about all men until no men. This is not a debate to talk about whether or not the Jews hold power within Israel.
The Jewish
right
people.
now,
Yeah,
as it
like, what?
relates- As it relates to this G-side that is very much happening within Gaza and Palestine. So I'm not sure where you want to go here because I have to be able to, I guess, dissect that, and that's a completely different discussion.
So if
So
a
This is
Palestine,
derailing the actual issue,
I'm
which
not
is
sure
So
what
actually-
your obsession with Jewish people is today, but it's really scaring me, cringe.
So wait, I'm sorry. Wait, just
and
actually.
it's
So wait,
actually
I'm
pretty
sorry.
cringy.
What?
Wait, hold on.
Hold
She's
on,
got her
Cringy.
timer.
She's got a timer.
I mean, I yield. That's all I needed to say.
Okay.
I got two things to say. Okay, number one, like if we're doing concern trolling here, like let's like hopefully not. Number two, Like, do we think that if a Palestinian says it's all Jews until it's no Jews, is that a valid statement? Considering the Palestinians are currently being oppressed by by Jewish people in Israel.
I'm literally refusing to engage. This is ridiculous and disgusting.
I refuse to engage. I refuse to engage.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, this is not what the debate is about.
I will not engage with this argument.
This is literally not how any other.
What a W! This is such a W.
Violence against
debates
violence against women is not a fucking issue. This is not. This is not something to fucking troll about.
I don't really care.
Hey,
so what I'm gonna say is
you
this.
guys.
What I'm gonna say is this. I think it's really telling that you have to deflect to a different conflict because you have nothing to say about this particular issue other than to try and dismantle the messaging itself, which we've already explained to you and expressed how it's been powerful in other forms. And you have nothing to say to any of that. We have brought up statistics. We have brought up research. All you can do is pivot to something else. And ironically, it's the same pivot you've been using the entire time. It sounds like you want to have a debate on Israel-Palestine. Well, that's not what we're here for today, Scratch. So I'm not really sure what's going on.
So, okay, so logically, wait, I'm sorry, wait, scratch.
Mo, I need to get my licks in.
No, scratch.
Okay, this isn't a licks thing. If you would like to continue the debate, then yes, we can give you a timer. But this is not a grandstand. We're gonna fucking cross the finish line.
Can I ask a question to Robot?
Wait, I'm sorry, I haven't been able to talk.
No, I want to ask a question to Robot and Mojo. I just have a question here as the moderators of this debate. Is this what a formal debate looks like? Because right now it's been a lot of pivoting. It's been Scratch admitting that he has no idea where he's at tonight. And I think that's because he wasn't prepared for this debate. So he feels he needs to derail to something he's more comfortable with. And so I would just like to know if we're going to keep proceeding down this line of questioning.
Wait, Jodie, I'm sorry. I'm the one who brought up the hypothetical. I'm the one who wrote up the fucking debate structure.
Stop.
Whoa.
Okay, Cringy then. Cringy, I'll give you the credit. Sorry, Cringy.
Wait, you guys, Robot had a timer set up. He had it all set up and you guys didn't want it. And you wanted to do something else. So we switched over and that's what led to this.
It's super easy.
Debates
like this are really easy, are really actually not easy.
Right,
sorry, Scratch. I was just saying I had to a formal debate and structure, but y'all had something else you agreed on, and this is what we're following is what you four agreed on.
Well, we didn't, because if you reference what I sent you and what was agreed upon, you'll notice that we haven't been following that at all.
We are actually just halfway through of your "is all men until no men true."
Right, but we had a specific debate structure with timing and everything that was agreed to by Cringy and I and Emma, and we didn't get a response from Scratch and we didn't get a response from Mojo. But my understanding was that everybody was able to see it because I included them and I included all of your Scratch. I included your backup too. But the point is that that's what we set up our debate to be, right?
Okay, so cool. And I understand that, and I
know you didn't know, but I'm saying we have gone so far off that it's like.
Well, Jodie, that's fine, but the structure y'all agreed on is not a formal debate structure. That's all we're getting at. We're basically here just moderating and making sure everybody has their chance to speak. Because it's not
so I would like to speak, Robot. I feel like this.
Wait, stop.
We're just wasting time.
Let Robot finish. We got all night, right? I mean,
you
guys have bedtime.
This is like a 2-hour debate structure y'all have set up.
So did you have something else you wanted to add, Robot?
No, that's basically it. Like we don't have to go into those, I guess, ad hominems or trying to point fingers at each other. Like this is a structure y'all have agreed on. If number one, if you take some kind of concession and you feel you got the points, y'all can move on from that subject. You do not have to sit here and hamstring your opponent into some kind of answer. And Jodie actually gave y'all an answer to that specifically in one of her statements. She did. I see you shaking your head, Scratch. She did. I sat here and listened to her. But it's fine. You took your W, man. Like y'all can move on to the next step of the debate.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say here's what I'm saying.
Okay, wait. I'm sorry. Wait.
If the rest of
doesn't even let his brother.
Okay, Scratch. Okay, wait. No debate like this when we're arguing over whether a statement is true. We first have to agree on the definitions. We don't even
Because
agree on the
that is
definition,
that
so
is
we
the
can't.
very fundamental part of this debate.
So we can't move on. Jody's saying that this is deflecting, or we're actually some subject is just wrong. I brought up a hypothetical in order to elicit that this this phrase isn't principally consistent, probably with Jody's or Emma's moral system. At least I'm presupposing that. Jody and Emma refused to engage. Said I was pivoting. I'm not pivoting.
Well,
We are simply
their
having a
refusal
sub
to-
argument within we are simply having a sub argument within the semantic debate over whether or not
I understand that,
and
cringy, but whenever somebody refuses to engage with a point in any formal debate
wait a
topic,
second, though.
that is called a
Cringy's just getting his
capitulation.
response in.
No,
Yeah,
but I'm sorry.
I understand that. That's a
But
capitulation.
I wasn't.
Just take the points
But we're
and move to the
conflating things.
next.
We're conflating things because I did not capitulate, and I certainly did not say that I don't want to argue the point, the definition. If we're talking about definitions, what I'm talking about is that this is the crux of this whole debate. Is what this fucking definition is, right? That's part of this. Is it good messaging? Is part of defining this.
Okay.
Like
that's
how
fine, Jody, but you specifically
I'm not talking to you,
said,
Robot. I'm talking to them, but yeah.
But I am talking to you, Jody. So specifically, you had said I refuse to engage. That is a capitulation.
That was a previous point, though. That was to a previous point.
No, that was when I specifically asked the question. Is it valid when a Palestinian says it's all Jews until it's no Jews? You said I refuse to engage.
You guys can't
You
even
guys are not keeping up. Everybody is not keeping up.
I just want to make a simple statement, guys. Right? I'm just
but we're not.
Just a humble
And you're
black
right.
man trying to make it in a very white world.
No,
okay?
scratch what you're doing. Hold on. Scratch what you're
doing. Reality.
Jody is just going to get interrupted.
I was actually literally going to say that Scratch was correct, but he wants to keep running his mouth. Scratch, you're correct about what I said I didn't want to respond to. I just wanted to be clear with Brobot that I wasn't saying I don't want to define terms. I'm actually saying that the entire debate, a fundamental part of this debate is defining terms, right? So it's not going to be something that is a sub portion of this debate. It is a fundamental part of it. But at any rate, I didn't want to go into what you said, Scratch, because then we're opening up a door that is what is the power dynamics within this conflict right now happening over there. And I feel like that's going to derail this conversation. Is that fair?
No, there's a sub-argument of the current sub-argument. It's not derailment. Just we're going farther.
Of course, you're not going to agree with it because it's your argument.
What do you mean?
Like,
yeah,
it's
a sub-argument. Nothing about what Scratch brought up was invalid.
That's a really like.
You're obviously not going to.
I mean, can you? Wait, I'm sorry.
Agree because it's
can you logically? Can you Okay, wait. I'm sorry. Can you logically tell me exactly why what Scratch is deflecting or pivoting?
This is literally the problem with the country right now.
The first problem with your argument. Hold on. The first problem with your argument is that not all Israeli people are Jewish. The second part of that issue with that argument is that a primary perpetrator of the things happening to these people are a part of the Netanyahu administration and the IDF. So that's what I'm saying is then we're gonna keep going down that line because you may disagree with that, right? And then we're gonna have to keep arguing about things. So that's why I'm saying I'm trying to stop it where it is. I know what your argument is, and I understand, Scratch, what you're trying, and Cringy, what you're trying to say. I do. But I don't want to go. I don't want to. Do you understand my effort to not try to derail this any further? That's all.
It'd be fine if, in your own opening statement, you didn't say things like, "Well, if 40% of the planes were crashing in the sky, we wouldn't say it's just 40. We wouldn't just say, oh, it's some of the planes."
I did. That wasn't part of my opening statement.
That actually was part of your opening statement.
This is part of the.
I'd be happy to because I wrote it down my notebook.
This is part of the whole problem.
This is part of the everybody talking at once.
And you already admitted, hey, people who exist in society, all Jews who exist in society,
you guys, this is literally part of the problem is that women are not the priority. That women being harmed is not the priority. That making jokes about fucking are Jewish people the problem is the joke. We're supposed to be joking about things instead of worrying about people that are actually harmed in our society. That is the whole point. That we get distracted by other bullshit instead of staying on point. This is not an accusation to men. This is a demand for accountability, for safety, and for visible allyship. When enough men start showing up before the harm, maybe we won't need to say it anymore. Then we won't have to fucking talk about this. That's the whole point. We're getting derailed while people are actively harmed right now and every day. We should be standing up against this because women are literally scared and getting hurt, and so are children. And we don't know who's good, we don't know who's bad. It could be your father, it could be your brother, it could be your uncle, it could be your neighbor, you don't know. And so this is the whole point. We need to stand up. Women cannot do this alone. We need men to be asking, what's going on? What does this mean? That's the whole point. They should be asking, they should be curious. If they aren't curious and they aren't asking, they clearly aren't aware of how serious this problem is. And some of us have gotten harmed. Some of us have gotten attacked. Some of us have gotten raped, even when we were children. And so this is not a funny issue to us. And like, I'll joke about stuff all day, but pivoting this to another issue that's severely destructive and harmful to women and children and civilians is not a joke to me. So I don't know why this is like hard to understand. I'm all for not agreeing on the definition and trying to hash that out, but that's not what this feels like. This feels very disingenuous and it's very frustrating because of that. So I don't know. Yep.
Yeah. Do you want to go,
Period.
Cringy, or should I go?
Fine,
Yeah.
what's-
Sure,
Whatever the
yeah,
fuck
I
it
would
is.
like to. I really
But I
would
think
like to.
Mojo was
Okay.
saying. I think
We'll
Mojo was
give
going
you
to
the
say
time.
something.
I just want to say something here. An analogy is a comparison between two different things to highlight a similarity in some respect. What Cringy and Scratch were doing, were using a debate tactic. And they were creating an analogy, and they were just asking you to answer the analogy to see if your logic was going
Consistent.
to be, yeah, consistent on both issues.
This isn't our
You
first
don't have
day,
to go, yeah, you don't have to go into the analogy any deeper. It was just kind of a yes or no thing, and that was just for that
So
purpose
then, yeah, it would be a
alone.
no, right? Which I already cited.
Well, then you could have moved on from there, or you could have had a conversation
Well,
about
but they've
that.
been
But
pivoting
instead,
to the Jewish people all night, so it's just kind of weird.
We'd ask you why it's not analogous, because the reason you're saying no is because it's not analogous.
And then we
And
asked you
you're
why
saying,
it's,
well,
and then
well,
I asked you why it's a pivot,
well,
and
by
no,
your
no,
own guys'
no.
logic, it is.
I don't. Okay, I'm sorry. I have the timer. I've asked you like why it's not analogous. You refuse to answer. I've asked you why it's a pivot.
No, I
You refuse
didn't.
to answer.
I completely gave you a full and fleshed out answer after you wouldn't give up on it. I did. I just did that like 5 minutes ago.
Okay. Well, I mean, this still isn't a pivot. I don't
It's fine. We
know.
can move
This,
on. Can we just move on, please?
okay,
Can we
sure.
go?
Okay, wait. Here. I'll pause the definition. Maybe
I
maybe you'll
appreciate
agree with this one. Do you agree that the definition of mental snowman is or I guess the reason you say it is it's to invoke some concept of some shared experience for women of negative experiences with men.
Do I agree that that is the purpose of using it? Is that
Okay,
what?
so you just agree. So you just agreed that so you just agreed that the entire point of when we say it's all meant.
I just asked a question. I said, were you saying that's how we're intending its use?
Well, now you're attending loose. I think that I'm actually. I don't even think this. I don't necessarily think this.
I just want to understand what you're trying to say. Honestly.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that this slogan even has a set definition. At this point, would you be willing to like take a definition that would be like the definition of it's all men till it's no men is just trying to define the feeling women have of negative experiences with men.
No, I mean, we're going to disagree. I don't think that's wrong per se, right? But I don't think that's encompassing of everything. I would say
why?
that
I mean,
the intent.
do you agree that?
Go ahead.
Do you agree that many different women have many different definitions of this slogan?
No.
Like it means different things to different women. I'm pretty that must be correct. I've heard different definitions.
Sure, there's been different ways to approach the argument because there's multiple different ways to explain all men until no men, right? They all are equally weighted though. So when we talk about this, the point of the messaging itself, the actual it's all men until it's no men, right? Is to provoke and promote conversation about men's role in this patriarchal society and to identify how they can assist. And that starts a conversation about education. There's plenty of things that men do not know, right? About how systemic issues affect women medically, economically, in roles of power, political roles of power, etc. So what that point of that slogan is to provoke conversation.
Well, I would say the definition of it's all mental is no men is like the shared experience of women when interacting with all men. Do you agree with that definition?
Yeah, I'm thinking the shared experience. Say it one more time.
The shared experience of all women when interacting with men.
How do you feel about that, Emma?
I'm sorry, can you repeat it? I just got like a
Yeah, the
bad
shared experience of
text.
women when interacting with all men.
What was it?
It's the shared experience of all women when interacting with all men.
Mm,
I just don't feel like it's all encompassing.
That's the concept it's trying to invoke.
Sure. I'm not gonna say that it's wrong. It's definitely not wrong. It's just I just don't want to.
So are there like multiple definitions?
Yeah, we can proceed. It's fine.
Okay, cool. So like I guess my definition would be a valid one because I have heard it before.
Yeah, no, it's not. That's why I said it's not wrong. It's just I'd have to like think about the implications of it. It's
Okay,
really
well I don't think I can say like necessarily. I don't think I can necessarily say any like. I don't think I can necessarily say like, any one statement is true or I get this one if there isn't a set definition. So I don't like even.
Oh, well, I appreciate you saying that because that is kind of the thing here, right?
Well, now you've.
Well, but you have to understand that there's like various different like motivations in saying this, right? It means that we don't know if a man is safe, right? So if I'm walking down the street, I don't know if that man, because there's no way for me to tell if that man is not going to cause me harm or like try to like kidnap me or something, right? So that would be an implication of that slogan.
Do you think that fear is justified?
Yes.
Do you think that the slogan prescribes that women should fear, or
no?
No, you don't think it prescribes that or is prescriptive?
No, because again, the slogan is simply about education. The slogan is awareness, bringing awareness to
like the fact, like it's so absurd. Like even the fact that we have to argue, and even Jodie up here and Emma admit that this slogan has multiple definitions and multiple interpretations on the left.
I'm sorry, not everything is black and white.
I mean, many things have several definitions in different dictionaries.
Well, so scratch.
I have a definition
so
right here. Like but you wouldn't necessarily like agree with it, right? Like so, it's the whole thing is that it's complicated. It's a phrase that expresses the survival-based stance until men collectively take full responsibility for ending gender-based violence, harassment, and systemic oppression. All men must be viewed with caution because there's no reliable way to tell who is safe and who is not. Like
so
that's
I
just want to start by saying I think it's a little bit telling that the two white women on the panel won't let a black person finish. Next thing I would like to say
is that do that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, scratch. Let's not do that.
It's so ridiculous.
Tone down a little.
Really disingenuous.
Okay. I think would we agree that a slogan should limit the possibility of negative interpretations by a target audience?
Say it one more time.
Would we agree that a slogan should limit the possibilities of negative interpretation by the target audience?
Sure, I think it's no, because we're trying to obviously have the most success possible. When we come up with a slogan, we're trying to start a movement. You do have to consider the implications, of course. If that's what you're saying.
So in a state,
we should limit.
Wait. So
we should or shouldn't we limit negative interpretations?
Let's scratch.
So should or shouldn't we limit negative interpretations?
Meaning, like,
do you understand the definition? Because if you don't even understand the definition, then how can you understand?
Hold on, Emma. 1 second. I just want to make sure that what you're saying is that if somebody is saying something that we disagree with as it relates to the slogan, that we should try to correct or limit that.
No, what I'm saying is that slogans should be simple enough that people can't misconstrue them and have negative interpretations of them when they're meaning to mean something else or have a different meaning to them.
I mean, it's impossible to not have inappropriate or negative interpretations of have everyone be on board. That's the point of this.
That was not what I said. I said that we should try and limit negative interpretation.
Sure. Yeah, I would agree with you.
Okay,
yeah,
so
and I just said that.
Do you think it's do you think it's an indicator of this slogan being pretty bad, right? And maybe being more prone to having negative interpretations when the left itself can't even define what the interpretation of it should be?
No, I think it's a lack of education, which is we have.
So okay, wait. So slogan
Wait,
having
wait,
multiple.
you guys
Wait,
keep
I'm
on
sorry. Wait, I'm
asking all
sorry.
the
Wait, 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 wait,
You
wait,
guys
wait,
keep
wait,
on
wait,
getting
wait,
to
wait.
ask all the questions, and we don't get to ask a question of you.
Okay, sure.
Are we just
Go
here to
ahead.
answer all the questions?
Okay,
Like,
sure.
do you
You're the
even
one making the
agree with the
positive claim,
stance in
but
the
go
first
ahead.
place? Do you
Go
even
ahead.
agree
No,
with
go
the
ahead.
stance in
Go
the
ahead.
claim in
I'm
the
here.
first place?
I'm right here.
Do you even agree with the claim in the first place?
The
Which
definition.
claim?
The statement, all men until no men.
Depends on your definition,
The
but like there's
definition.
the
Do you
descriptive
believe
argument is
in the soul, the juice of the argument? We've explained it many different ways.
We believe
All
that the
men
patriarchy
is in.
wait,
exists.
wait,
If we
Hold on,
scratch,
define the
scratch.
all men
hold
until
on,
snow men as the patriarchy existing, then yes, we
hold on.
believe
No,
it.
no, no,
But we
no.
don't think that's what the
Hold on.
definition is. We've made that
Scratch.
very clear multiple times.
There we go. So
Okay,
go
I'll
ahead,
break
Emma.
it down. Thank you. It reflects lived experience, not literal accusations. So the phrase doesn't mean every single man is a predator, but that the current social structure protects those who are and makes it unsafe to give benefit of the doubt. So if we break it down, all men is a necessary generalization rooted in self-protection, not hate, and then until is a condition. It's a call to action, not a permanent label. And no men is the goal, that no men who harm and no men who stay silent. So this is like what it is. Like we can maybe not agree about the specific definition until the cows come home, but like we have to agree on something to move forward, even if it is to have
The
two separate definitions, because right now we're just hitting a wall and we're not talking about the actual issue, which is the harm
okay,
of
wait.
women. So I think we're
I'm
getting
sorry.
away from the actual point
Mm.
of the slogan. Are we here just to discuss a slogan? Or are we here to discuss a systemic issue in our country?
We're
Like
here to discuss
that's a
the
real
slogan.
question. You're only here to
Everybody here
discuss a
already agrees
slogan,
to
that's it?
patriarchy, which
Hey,
is
she's got a timer, guys.
Because that wasn't my understanding, is that we were only here to discuss a slogan. I thought we were here to also discuss an issue. I'm okay discussing the slogan for a little bit, but this seems like we're hitting a brick wall, and I don't think that really helps anyone. So it's not about demonizing anyone or any individual. It's about naming collective patterns that have made trust dangerous. It's about a response to an action, silence, complicity, and it's not a personal attack. So it means trust is earned, not assumed, because safety isn't guaranteed. If men don't want to be included, they must actively work to dismantle the conditions that make the phrase necessary. So if you have an issue with this phrasing, that's fine. I really don't care about the phrase, because it's not about the phrase. This issue was an issue before the phrase. It's about the actual issue. We aren't spending even close to enough time about the actual issue of women being harmed as we are discussing this phrase. This phrase isn't people. This phrase isn't getting unalived. This phrase is just a way, a path to go in a certain direction. It's an arrow to go down the right brick road to get to people, to actually protect people and to have people not be in harm, in active harm constantly, for people to not be afraid constantly, for women to not have to wear headphones when they go for runs at night. Like that's the actual point of this conversation. That's what I was under the impression that that's why we were having this discuss the phrasing. I want to talk about the issues.
Okay, wait, I'm
nobody
sorry.
here
Oh, wait,
disagrees that
scratch,
patriarchy
scratch.
exists.
Oh,
No, nobody
Cringy,
here
hold on. Scratch
nobody
wanted to
here
talk first. He's got a timer.
nobody here disagrees that patriarchy exists. Nobody here disagrees that women are oppressed. We get the only statistics you guys keep citing are for that. Can we stop morally grandstanding on the fact that patriarchy exists for 2 minutes? Nobody here is contesting that. Literally nobody. We're talking about the slogan. I came here under the impression it was only about the slogan. From what I read from like, skim through the messages, it was only about the slogan. That's what we prepared for to talk about if the slogan is valid. My specific argument was that, hey, we should try and limit negative interpretations of a slogan. The fact that we have to debate over, or for the better part of an hour, what the actual definition slogan is, just on the left, is an indicator that people who are on the right probably have even worse interpretations of it, and that already fails at being what a slogan should be, which is that it is easily communicatable to people. People can understand it without having those negative interpretations. That's why the slogans like mega are so effective. So please, when I make an argument, listen instead of preaching for like 3 minutes straight about the patriarchy existing. Nobody disagrees with that. So fucking annoying. Okay, go ahead, Cringy.
I'll give you a timer, Cringy. Go ahead.
just to be clear, a statement doesn't necessarily have to have like one sentence definition or to be valid. But the thing with like statements like "Make America Great Again" is that it invokes a shared experience between Americans of some older or better past in America. You're harkening back to like a different time. It's invoking nostalgia. So most Americans kind of understand that like shared experience and like are able to relate to the slogan. It's all men till it's no men invokes a shared experience between women of like negative interactions with men. So like it like fundamentally fails at invoking a shared experience between its target audience, which is men. It again in the study, I think it was like what makes an effective presidential campaign slogan. It did say that participants felt that slogans that induce the least amount of negative interpretations are the best. The slogan "Mega" does this because everyone has a shared experience of like what America was like before. People are nostalgic and they're able to like relate to that shared experience of the past. Like Solomon tells someone just not do this. It like fails on like one of the main point. I think number one, it fails on the number one, I guess, quality of what a valid slogan would be. So yeah, yield my time.
Okay, so I actually do have questions. If we can just get over to that, because I would actually like to hear your take, and I'm sure the comments after all this time would like to hear your overarching takes on the specific topic. Is that cool with everybody?
Yeah, I
I'm going to give each person a timer in order to answer it. Y'all can do it as a team or individually. So the first question I have is, what is the effect or effectiveness of your movement and messaging in the political sphere? Who would like to go first? I am specifically asking about
Me.
legislation, notable figures, political or
Oh,
public sentiment, all those kind of things that happen in the political sphere. Okay, I'll give it to you, Cringy.
Yeah.
sure. I don't think the statement has produced any sort of like notable legislation uh, or large action outside of maybe some like very small towns or municipalities. I I haven't heard of anything coming good out of this statement. What it does do is trigger men because they don't understand they don't have the shared experience of well being a woman, and women do understand it because they do have the shared experience of being a woman. So also it's trigger men, and I guess women just use it as a circle jerk. I don't like know how to say this, but uh, nobody when people say this statement, they're not using it to like bridge gaps between men and women. They're using it to, like circle jerk of like other women. That's the entire point of this statement. I yield my time
Okay.
to the floor.
That's fine. Emma, do you want me to jump in?
Yeah, you can go. You haven't gone in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have any proof. We don't have any substantive proof right now that there are any direct laws that are named from all men until no men. But we do have heavy influences within different programs like Stepping Stones, Men as Partners, UN Women, He for She. There's a lot of different to implement change and influence leaders and policymakers to sort of commit to gender equality and accountability. So that's what I would say. Like, I would agree that right now we're not seeing that. I think this is a newer movement, of course, so it does take time. Make America Great Again has been going on for, I don't know, 10 plus years now. So, and has a president backing it. So that's going to be a little different in terms of a one-to-one. This is more of grassroots, I would say. So it's going to take time, just like anything else does. Black Lives Matter went on for a very, very long time, is still happening, and we've seen change legislatively from that. But so no, at this point we don't. But that's sort of why we're pushing for this so much, and we want to highlight that fundamentally part of this issue here is sort of what Emma highlighted earlier, which is that we can never get past men being upset about the slogan itself, because I don't have any women And this is anecdotal, of course, but I don't typically hear any pushback from women. It's always the pushback from men because they don't like the sound of not all or all men until no men. Excuse me. It makes them feel guilty. It makes them feel like they're responsible in some way, shape, or form. And so that's where you end up getting a lot of the pushback. It's just that we just need your help. And we've been placating for decades to men to try to make them feel better and coddle them. And I think it's just getting old. So we've said it's all men until it's no men, because that is the truth of the matter. At some level, every man, because we live in a patriarchy, which Cringy and Scratch agree with, uh, ultimately have a responsibility to keep other men in check, right? And that's just it. And just recognizing it itself, right? Recognizing their place in society and that they do benefit from this patriarchy, and that patriarchy oppresses women in all these different sectors of our society. So that's what I have to say. I can yield.
Okay, and then Scratch, you're up next.
Scratch, are you based in the oppressor build?
I am based in oppressor build. It's just the moral grandstanding from our opponents while they sit down here is so disgusting for me, right? It, these these are people, right, Jodie and Emma, who are gonna sit up here and say, "Oh, these men, their feelings are hurt. These men, they come to me, and the only time I hear it is from men who are complaining of the audience." The slogan is targeted at men. If men are coming to you and telling you the slogan isn't effective, who is your target audience? Maybe you should listen to them. That's just me. Looking for a new movie coming out, the target audience was kids, and kids were coming to me and saying, "Hey, it's making me really scared. I want to watch the movie." I might listen to my target audience. Who knows? Right? Second of all, it's so ironic how these people, these so-called feminists, will sit up here on this panel saying, "Oh, we
Not
need
a
to get rid
feminist.
of the patriarchy. We need to get rid of
I am.
toxic masculinity." At the same time, talking about coddling men. Like, come on! I thought you guys were against toxic masculinity. I thought you guys were against making sure that men had a place where they express their feelings, express their opinions. But apparently, doing that now is called coddling men, and we're not allowed to do that. They're not feminists anymore.
Strong man.
Yeah. Lastly, if we actually want effective political change, effective political movement in this country, what we need to do is make sure that our messaging is on point so that the Republicans can't demonize us in the next election, right? And look, it's so easy for them. They can just have some feminist, blue-haired, holding "It's all men" sign and say,
Wow.
"Look what they want to do to all you men. Look what they want to do." Like, we're giving these people political ammunition, and me and Cringy are sitting here and saying, "Here's how we are going to effectuate actual political change, and the only thing you guys care about is having a little circle jerk session and calling your feelings because you don't actually care about making shit better for women and men." I rest my case.
Okay, and then last but not least,
Emma, you gotta come off mute, babe.
The action is not meant to center men's feelings. The phrase isn't a debate prompt, it's a boundary. And it's a way for people to signal wariness and remind each other that their trauma isn't up for debate. This isn't just something to laugh about. The humor that is coming from our opponents right now, people laughing at all men until no men, don't realize that the slogan is rooted in grief, anger, and exhaustion. The internet just like humorizing and as a coping mechanism because they can't handle dealing with the actual subject, claiming to be there for women and being a support and believing that the patriarchy exists and that they want to deconstruct it and their part in it. It's not a joke. And the underlying tone is violence, and they're a part of that when they don't take it seriously, and it reflects a lack of accountability. The phrase arose because of the chronic failure of good, I'm quoting, good men to hold other men accountable. If policed by each other, that the police, if they police each other, then we wouldn't need the slogan. So this slogan was literally birthed because of the inaction of men. Women have been shouting this from the rooftops for a long time, and this proves a point. when men respond to it by mocking it, get defensive, or making memes. It just demonstrates exactly why we need this fucking slogan, why we need this, why it's aggressive, why it's supposed to be in your face and making you uncomfortable. It's supposed to force you to deconstruct and think about it and feel uncomfortable with the subject, because it's not comfortable the way that women have to sit day after day in shame abuse and in violence, and like that's the whole point of this. So I understand you guys might not like a slogan. I really don't care about slogans. I care about the cause behind it. Every single slogan that we've ever watched birth in this country, Me Too, whatever it may be, Black Lives Matter, there was always backlash against it, and there was always people making fun of them. But the real point, the actual meat and potatoes of it, is that this issue is an issue and we need to talk about it. And that's what's happening right now. That's why we're having this debate. That's why we've had many debates on TikTok about this. And I would love to have a debate about the actual issue, and not just you skating by and saying, oh, well, we agree with all that. Okay, so then why are we spending a whole debate instead of educating people? We're just deconstructing a slogan, quote unquote. Like this is what I don't understand. This is not a slogan to us. This is a movement. This is a call to action to every man.
And I, if I can just say one small thing, I don't need like 3 minutes.
Okay.
I don't think we're understanding the point of this. This right here, Scratch and Benji, I should say, seem to think that the actual argument between this, or proving his point, is the fact that we've been dismantling this for the last hour and a half. When in reality, what he's not realizing is that we're doing the very thing that we want to do, which is bring attention to the issue. And he agrees with the issue. He agrees that we live in a patriarchy, right? And so he knows that we live in a society in which women are disproportionately affected by all different sects of our society. And yet he doesn't want to address the fundamental like defensiveness that he has, or they have, I should say, excuse me. I'm not understanding how that doesn't spark to Scratch and Cringy, how this is igniting that action that he's talking about. And I've already mentioned the different various organizations that are supporting that notion. So I think the argument speaks for itself at this point.
Okay. Well, that's actually a really great segue into my next question. I'm sure Mojo will put it on the screen here in a moment. But what, if any, legislation would you propose to redress, mitigate, or eliminate your position? Cringy, you started last time, so I'm going to start you out here. If you need any extra help, like what kind
My
of
position?
legislation? Yes. For your
Okay, what do you mean by
position,
that?
what would you propose to pass in order to eliminate your position? And it can be any form of
Like
legislation from
eliminate the
local to
patriarchy in this
national.
case?
No, to eliminate your position that this is bad messaging. Like, is it prescriptive to get rid of it in a legal sense, like outlaw it?
I
Would
don't.
you pass any other kind of legislation in order to
For them to argue.
I think
solve your
good or bad
issue with the
messaging.
prompt?
Good or bad messaging is like fundamental, like human psychology. I don't think you can like pass legislation to like change how people react to messaging. It just seems like a very dumb question. I don't even know like, how to start answering this.
Well,
I
you
think
particularly have an issue with the prompt, right? All men until no men. Do you have any form of redress for it or a way to
I guess I
eliminate
could.
your contention with it?
I could ban the. I don't know. What do I do? Like, introduce a bill to Congress to ban the fucking word or some
Yeah,
shit? I
Cringy,
don't.
I'll say this for you. Like Cringy and Scratch don't disagree that, these are like issues happening. Like they understand that. So in terms of like legislation and them being on the left, like they're going to agree with the legislation that we'd want to implement. Their fundamental argument here is that the messaging is not successful because of the amount of time that they feel like they have to pick it apart.
Correct. And
But
I mean,
it has
I'm
nothing
not
to do
trying
with
to lead, but specifically what Scratch and Cringy could lead into is like changing the form or format of the message within the Democratic Party, right?
Okay, but you said
There's
legislation.
many prescriptive methods.
If you just meant like what should the Democratic Party do, then
Cringy, do
I
you
mean
want
Yes,
to
as I
it's a
said,
different
any
question.
to redress the message, mitigate any damage the message is doing, or eliminate your side of the position, what you are in contention with. You're at contention with the way the message is. How would you change it?
Sure, just like come up with a slogan that meets all five necessary requirements, and preferably the six supportive quality that defines a valid slogan, which I mentioned at the very start of the debate, which is number one, limits the possibility of negative interpretation by the target audience. Number two, is relevant slash time appropriate. Number three, is adaptable to target audience individual belief systems. Number four, summarizes the target audience's shared experience towards some sort of campaign, issue, or policy. Number five, sounds good slash catchy. And number six is true, which is just a supportive quality, is true and rational and demonstrable. 1 through 5 are necessary. Number 6 is supportive.
Okay. Thank you so much. And then Jody, you're going to go next. It's the same prompt, but what kind of legislation or mitigation would you use to eliminate your position? Like what would solve the all men till no men?
Right. It's going to be a multifaceted response. Right. There's not a one size fits all piece of legislation that would resolve the implications of the patriarchal system that we're in. It's going to take grassroots efforts, like societally speaking, within communities. But then in terms of legislation, we would be talking about expanding upon like the Violence Against Women Act with mandatory like training compliance audits. We could talk about, God, scratch is so loud. We could talk about like a federal domestic violence offender registry. We could talk about education, better education in K through 12 curriculum. We can adapt from like California has, it's called a Healthy Youth Act. And that is just sort of expanding upon the patriarchy and teaching children about it and moving away from like the normal societal roles that are taught to specific genders. We could talk about expanding red flag laws for gender-based threats. We could talk about gender violence that prevents grants for men's programs. We can talk about workplace harassment, disclosure, and transparency, and creating acts for that. We can talk about abolishing mandatory arbitration, like in gender-based misconduct cases. So it'd be like banning forced arbitration clauses that this would prevent like survivors from like sexual harassment, assault, abuse claims. So because they deserve a pathway, and a lot of times they get silenced through this. There's a number of things that we can do. That's just a few that I've named. I mean, I yield.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jody. Scratch, you are up next.
Yeah. I just want to say to my two opponents, you're very brave for telling us the patriarchy is bad in a panel full of liberals who all agree that the patriarchy, or leftists who agree the patriarchy is bad, to an audience that agrees that the patriarchy is bad. I clap for you. Second of all, I agree with everything Reggie said. The 6 points and one supportive point that we made for what a slogan needs to be is generally what I've contend with. And probably the only other thing is that it's so interesting to me. Like, I know I'm going back to other thing we were talking about first, and it's like, oh, this slogan is combining the suffering of all women, and men don't really have a place to be speaking about it. Like, do we care more about like helping women feel better about like the patriarchy oppressing them, or do you care more about actually ending the patriarchy? Like, serious question. Because if the slogan, as you guys admitted, is just the suffering of all women and the meat as part of the meaning behind it, then it doesn't seem to me that it's actually about effectuating political change. But I yield. And oh, by the way, one last thing. Please don't interrupt me. You know, I'm just a humble black man once again trying to make it in this world. Yeah, is what it is.
Well, thank you for that. And then Emma, we've got you coming up.
This whole debate's been insane. The fact that it's like the fact that you guys like, oh, we're for everything you want, like this is so just disingenuous. Like we obviously we need protections for women against violence, you know, shelters, more access to shelters, crisis hotlines, victim services, great prevention, education, access to assistance when that happens, including therapy, like legal assistance, protection orders, specialized law enforcement that are trained in this. Many states don't have different crisis teams to go to houses when police are called. That's another thing that can be helped. We have that in Massachusetts. That helps. That should be nationwide, like federally funded. Equal rights amendment. We need more protections and amendments in the Constitution to guarantee equality and protections for all genders, all people in the country. That's something that would help. Harsher crime, harsher punishment for sexual assault crimes. Right now, most people just don't really get held responsible, and just making it more accessible and safer for women to come forward, people to come forward in general, because the patriarchy hurts both men and women, and it's not funny. It's people are very scared to come forward because people aren't held accountable, and then they can be unalived, like my cousin. So helping women understand that they can leave from abusive relationships, not having them worry about losing their job or income, having safety nets in place for people that are survivors, helping families and children in those situations, giving funding to families and women that need, or men that need assistance in those situations if they're leaving last minute. Online harassment, digital harassment, making harsher punishment for those crimes, stealing images and videos from people, bullying, mental health, reproductive help, mandatory consent laws, making them federal, gender violence education. Like there's so many. I can't, like there's an unlimited amount, and everything that helps this cause helps everyone in the country. Housing, protection for survivors, like I already said. So if we help this, we help everyone in the country. We'll be a better country for it.
So, Burback, can we go back to like an open format now, or?
You will in just a moment.
Yeah, I had a question that I wanted to ask Cringy too. So
Oh, okay. Go ahead. I've got a third question, but after that, it'll be an open format.
yeah, I also Cringy, I'm sorry, and I'm honestly sorry if I missed it, but where did you get the guidelines for what a good slogan was? Is there like, or is that just like yours, or was that from something specific?
Yeah. I think three or four of them came from. I'm sorry, just to go. Slogans we believe in: an examination of what makes an effective presidential campaign slogan. It was a
So it's about
73 page. It was a
presidential.
70. It was a 76-page study I read in order.
Mm-hmm. So,
In order, and then the sixth supported claim came from Cambridge University's political slogans and logic, which essentially argued that from a formal point of view, effective slogans should be free from logical fallacy, easy to remember, and rationally demonstrable.
I just was curious. So the first one that you used a few of them for, right? You said three or four of them was related to presidential campaign slogans. Yes.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So now we're moving on to the third question. Give Mojo a moment to bring it up.
Oh, I don't think I have a third question.
Oh, you don't have the third one?
No.
That's okay. I would like to.
I've got
Is it
it.
this?
Yes, that is it.
Okay.
So
Sorry.
we're going to go in reverse order now. So Emma, you're going to come back up as the first round. But for the particular topic, the inception of the root topic, all men till no men, is believed to be established in 1970s. What influence, positive, neutral, negative, any at all, has it had on society? And please elaborate where you achieve this information.
I don't know it from the 70s, but in general, in our society, we in our country, we have not had protections for women. It's been very delayed. Women didn't get the vote until the 20s. Um, we've had almost 50 presidents at this point, and all of them are men. It's the patriarchy literally hurts both men and women, and especially men in terms of their emotions and anger. And we've seen that in our country specifically in terms of pew pewings and unalivings, self unalivings. Um, I think that the feminist movement, although not perfect, like everything, not being perfect, perfect is the enemy of good. And I do believe that we are in a better place than we were before. But I also think that we have a long way to go. And I really don't. I think that everyone should be striving to do better for everyone, including the children that are growing up right now, because it's a very hard world right now. And I don't think that we're where we should be in terms of the country, in terms of protections for women's rights and for the just women's bodily autonomy. Women are being forced to be pregnant and convicted of a crime when they have a miscarriage. There's a lot of injustices happening right now, and I think that we have a long way to go, and we should all be pushing for that because everyone came from a woman, everyone has a mother, and we should all be striving to do better. So I yield my time to Jodie when it's her turn.
Yeah. So next up will be cringy. And your end of that particular question is the root topic has encountered movements like hashtag not all men. What influence, once again, positive, neutral, negative, if any, has a counter movement had on society? I think you're muted there,
You're
buddy.
muted, Cringy.
Cringy, you're muted.
I'll restart your timer.
Oh, geez. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead.
Boomer behavior. The counter movement tends to be pretty toxic. There's a lot of red pillars, MGTOW, incels, black pillars, that tend to infest it. But I think there is a more centrist leaning aspect or view of this particular issue, which is the one I take, which simply says that the messaging surrounding this statement is just kind of shit, and that we should probably move on to just talking about the issues without even bringing up or preaching the slogan. The slogan doesn't even induce any conversation that is like meaningful to like any extent, and it's just mostly used for like circle jerking in like women's spaces or feminist spaces. I yield my time to the floor.
So yeah, I'm just gonna quickly. So what do I get? 4 minutes or something?
4 or 5 minutes, whatever you need.
Yeah. So I did want to just redress because he just brought it back up again. And is morally assertive, it's disruptive, it's implicitly demanding action. And where did he go? That was weird. Sorry.
He may have lost the internet or something. I've seen that happen before, but
He's in the same
please
house.
continue.
So anyways, the point with that though being said is that it's bold, it's unsettling, it's catalytic. So this is exactly what movements need. I think it's important to say that and then move into why I believe this has had real impact in society. So as stated in the prompt, this is a slogan that was radicalized in the 1970s. And what happened was people like Andrea Dworkin, Catherine McKinnon, Audre Lorde, these people asserted that like patriarchy